Welcome back to the 1% Mind. Over the course of Phase 2, we have systematically dismantled your old financial psychology, destroying the status game and neutralizing the sunk cost trap. Now, consider the peak of what society considers professional success: an elite neurosurgeon, equipped with 15 years of grueling medical training and a highly technical, irreplaceable skill set. Because their skill is rare, they earn a staggering $2,000 for every single hour they spend in this room. But look closely at the underlying mathematics. If this surgeon wants to double their income this year, they are bound by their own biology. They have to stand over a table for twice as many hours, perform twice as many surgeries, and endure double the physical and cognitive fatigue. Their entire empire rests on a fragile physical foundation. If they break their hand, contract an illness, or take a 6-month sabbatical, their income drops to absolute zero the second their hands stop moving. Despite the prestigious title, this surgeon operates within the exact same financial physics as a teenager flipping burgers at a fast food restaurant. Both are trading their finite biological time for money. The surgeon simply has a higher exchange rate. This graph displays the symmetric equation of wealth. 1 unit of biological time translates exactly to 1 unit of capital. The problem is the hard biological limits of thermodynamics. After sleep and basic maintenance, you only have 12 deployable cognitive hours before your brain collapses. Society deliberately ignores this limit, placing a massive moral premium on physical suffering. You were taught that wealth must be justified by agony, and that the executive sleeping under their desk is a hero. When you try to optimize this broken equation by working faster or begging for a 10% raise, you are sprinting as fast as humanly possible on a hamster wheel that is firmly bolted to the floor. It does not matter if you charge $10 an hour or $10,000 an hour. Symmetric labor has a mathematically hard-capped ceiling. It is a decorated prison cell, and to build actual wealth, you must abandon it completely. To escape the trap of trading time for money, we rely on the framework of leverage, mapped into 4 tiers by Naval Ravikant. The base is Tier 1, labor leverage. This means employing other human beings to multiply your own time. But utilizing human labor comes with constant friction. Humans get sick, form unions, and quit. You must constantly navigate their egos and individual flaws. Managing massive teams is highly inefficient and heavily permissioned. You must convince others to follow directions daily. Moving up, we find Tier 2, capital leverage. Money used to make more money. This capital acts as an army of clones that never sleep. The inherent limitation is obvious. To use money to make money, you first have to possess it. That means navigating gatekeepers. You have to go to a bank or a venture capitalist and ask for permission to deploy their capital. For the vast majority of human history, these 2 permissioned tiers were the only options. If you lacked an army of laborers or a massive fortune, you had no access to asymmetric wealth. That strict historical limitation evaporated in the late 20th century. The internet birthed an environment for wealth creation that exists outside of physical constraints. Tiers 3 and 4 represent code and media. These assets allow global distribution without human permission. They operate on a zero marginal cost of replication. A developer trades finite time once to write an app, but replicating it for 1 million users costs nothing. That software serves customers in Tokyo while the developer sleeps in New York. It processes data seamlessly, completely decoupling biological time from financial output. Media operates on the exact same zero-cost principle, but it productizes your specific knowledge and your voice. Renting a hall to give a live lecture to 500 people is symmetric leverage. When the 2 hours end, the value stops. Recording that exact same lecture and uploading it to YouTube breaks the symmetry. A book, a podcast, or a newsletter access your digital clone. 10 years from now, a kid across the globe can watch that video and generate revenue for you. The defining characteristic of code and media is that they are entirely permissionless. You do not need a television network or publisher. This is the architecture of the modern billionaire. They deploy a compounding system of software and media to generate capital, and then they use that capital to hire elite labor. Treat the exchange of biological time for capital as a temporary survival state, a baseline to be discarded once your systems begin multiplying your decisions. Transitioning from a manual laborer to an architect requires a specific operational framework. Step 1 is biological decoupling. When you first build a system that generates revenue while you sleep, your middle-class conditioning will attack you. You will feel lazy and try to invent busy work simply because you did not suffer physically for the money. You must rewire your mind to value output over suffering. If a brilliant piece of code takes 2 hours to write but generates $50,000 a month, you must learn to rest while your digital clones hunt. Step 2 is to productize your specific knowledge. You must take the high-value skills locked inside your brain and trap them inside a scalable vehicle. Solve a niche problem, deliver without physical presence, formalize a strict algorithm. If you are an elite accountant, stop taking hourly consulting calls. Write a definitive digital course on startup tax optimization and sell it 10,000 times. If you are a marketer, turn your manual campaigns into automated software. Step 3 is the ruthless audit of time. Once you build leverage, your finite hours become your most expensive asset. You cannot afford to spend them on low-leverage tasks. Calculate your aspirational hourly rate. Mathematically, if your goal is to generate $1 million a year, your biological time is worth roughly $500 an hour. The 99% mindset completely misinterprets this. People will spend 2 hours mowing their own lawn to save $50, oblivious to the fact that protecting that $50 just cost them $1,000 in lost strategic output. This decision tree dictates how you manage your day. If a task falls below your aspirational rate, you evaluate it. If it involves repetitive logic, you automate it with code. If it requires a human touch, you outsource it to external labor. Spending $50 to hire someone buys back massive blocks of your cognitive bandwidth. You redirect those newly freed hours toward building assets that generate recurring revenue for the rest of your life. The majority of the population wears their exhaustion like a badge of honor. They insist on pulling the heavy cart themselves. The elite architect refuses to pull the cart, utilizing every available machine to do the heavy lifting. To achieve asymmetric scale, you must relentlessly automate or eliminate every single obligation that falls below your hourly rate, exclusively reserving your bandwidth for building high-leverage systems. The exhausted masses will always view the use of leverage as cheating. The architects ignore them, stepping completely away from physical labor to orchestrate output from the outside. This is the reality of the symmetric equation. You can continue to be the engine of your own life, trading blood, sweat, and finite time for a tightly restricted paycheck, or you can utilize the exponential speed of an asymmetric system. You have to make a choice: remain trapped in the engine room or step out, master the physics of leverage, and force the global economy to work relentlessly for you. You now possess the mechanics of asymmetric scale. But as you build these systems and capital begins flowing into your life at disproportionate rates, you will face a new psychological threat. In video 15, we decode the Diderot effect. I will outline the invisible traps of sudden wealth. We will examine the exact psychological spiral where a single luxury purchase can rewrite a financial identity, and how you can defend your incoming empire against your own escalating desires. If this framework dismantled the illusion of hard work, hit the like button and subscribe. It signals the algorithm to prioritize deep, structural wealth strategies over cheap hustle culture. Share this video with a highly talented friend currently burning out on the symmetric clock. Stop pulling the cart. Go build the machine.